One of my favorite things to do is long-distance backpacking trips. Part of the experience is preparation and planning months before the trip. This is where we figure out how much food to pack, where we will refill our water, where we will camp, and how many miles each day we will hike. There's also getting the right gear. Backpacks big enough to hold a tent, sleeping bag, cooking supplies, medical kits, and more. Then there is the physical training leading up to the big day. Practice hikes on local trails with a full kit to prepare and make sure everything functions correctly. There is a lot that could go wrong out in the wilderness with no phone service, so preparing and planning is essential to not only enjoy the experience, but to survive. Planning and preparation are far more important with our finances. To be honest, being intentional with money is not something that comes naturally for me. Plus, growing up in poverty and being raised with a poverty mindset made all this kind of stuff unappealing to me. Before truly trusting God with finances, my main goals were to make sure the bills were paid, then use whatever was left on things that made me feel good. I've had to relearn how to handle money wisely, but more importantly, how to trust God to meet my needs regardless of how much money is in the bank. Most of those lessons I learned the hard way through mistakes and errors, but God has been faithful to help me grow in this area through the help of my wife. Leaning on her wisdom and strength in this area was humbling, but I learned so much by trusting that God has placed her in my life to help me grow. Through all the mistakes and growing pains, I'm learning more about what Pastor Andy was teaching on Sunday. To have a plan for my finances and to be prepared for the journey ahead. If I just set out for a 30-mile hike with no pack, no food or other supplies, not knowing where I could find water or how many miles I needed to cover each day, I would at the very least have a really bad time, or worse, end up gravely hurt on the journey. Unexpected situations and injuries can still happen on the trail, but planning and preparing will reduce the chances of something going wrong and will ensure the experience is valuable and enjoyable. So, how are you being intentional about planning with the money you have? What challenges do you face with intentionally planning out your finances? Luke 14:28 through 30. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, "This person began to build and wasn't able to finish." Matthew 25:14 through 18. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. Matthew 25:24 through 28. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. "Master," he said, "I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you." His master replied, "You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. Spend a few minutes in prayer, asking God to show you how to be more intentional about planning with the resources he has blessed you with. Share your thoughts below.